we have sort of a problem here. Yeah.
REI has gotten a lot of shade these days, especially in the gearhead community. You know, people questioning things like, are they too big? Are they still relevant? Are they overpriced sellouts? Are they too expensive? Do they even still have good gear? And the answers are no, yes, no, sometimes, and yes. But here's the thing. In general, I don't think REI is too corporate.
Did you see the memo about this?
In fact, being such a large company allows for some pretty amazing benefits that you can and should be taking advantage of.
Friday is Hawaiian Shirt Day.
And I want to walk you through some of those today. Also, I'll share something at the end that is about their history and the story behind REI that I think you'll want to stick around for. So whether you've been an REI member and shopper for years or you're just starting to explore them, I think that both camps will still get some good information out of this video.
Hooray!
Hey y'all, my name is Adam and this is Dad Camps. We're going to talk about camping and gear and hiking, getting outdoors with my kids. And if you're into that too, please hit subscribe. I'm new to this whole YouTube thing, and if you can help me out, I'm not above begging. Please go hit subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel. I want to get to know you and I want you to get to know me, and let's do this thing. If not, at least give me a like. At least a little like. Come on, boop it. All right, that's enough. Let's get into it. All right, first of all, I want to be clear. This is not sponsored by REI at all. I'm not saying it wouldn't be cool if they did, but but this is just my opinion, and although most of what I have to say here is pretty positive about them, I think they're a pretty awesome company. There is one big con at the end that you probably want to be aware of, so stay tuned for that. All right, so we're going to talk through the pros and the advantages that I think you get from shopping at REI. Then we'll talk about the negatives, and then get into a little bit of their story and background. All right, the first and one of the biggest benefits that I see of shopping at REI is their return policy. It's one of the best return policies in any kind of merchandise industry. For REI members, which I'll get into in a minute what that means to be a member, but REI members have a full year to return items, new or used, even if they've been worn out. If you're not satisfied, they have a 100% satisfaction guarantee that within a year, members can return their gear. Even return it by mail. So even if you don't live in an area where there's an REI easily accessible, you can send a return in for $5.99 shipping. So, you know, while you would lose the shipping cost on that, you could still return an item. So if you're talking an item of multiple hundreds of dollars that you wanted to try out, you can still order it by mail and return it, and you're only out $6. So what does this mean? Basically, you can try out gear for free. And I think this is what they want you to do, is to come in, try out gear that they sell, they stand behind it and think that you're going to be happy with it. So they're okay with you trying it out. And if you don't, you can return it. You do have to clean it first. I've heard some people bringing in dirty items and them accepting it, but they do ask that you wash items that have been used prior to bringing them back, because they do sell them in used gear sales, which I'll get into a little bit later. But take advantage of this by trying out the gear you want. If there's something that you're thinking about or you're not sure, you can always try it out in the store, but that doesn't always relate to real world experience. Go and buy it and take it out for a weekend trip and try it out. You can even try it out in a test overnight before you go out on a 10-day expedition. And if you don't like it, bring it back. Now, I'm not saying to take advantage of this and to abuse it or something like that, or to buy something that you do not have the intention of keeping. Although you could get away with that, don't ruin it for the rest of us. It's meant to be. If it's something that you want to keep, then you can take it and try it out. And if you don't like it, then bring it back. All right, membership. Is it worth it to be an REI co-op member? To me, it's a no-brainer. I don't understand why there would be people shopping there that are not REI co-op members. I've been a co-op member for 26 years now. It's probably dating me a little bit, but and my wife and I are both members, and kind of get into that in a second of why, but it costs $20 now to get a membership. But here's the benefits that it gets you. You get 10% rewards on everything you buy at REI. So it used to be called dividends. Now I think they're called rewards, but everything that you buy the following year, you get back 10% in what you purchased in rewards that you can then apply towards future purchases at REI, which is pretty amazing. So just by spending $20, you get 10% discount on anything they sell. So if you're going to buy a $200 item, just get the co-op membership and that pays for itself. REI members get no minimum shipping on REI, which I think this is something that a lot of people don't realize, is that for REI members, you can buy anything online, have it shipped to your house, no minimum required. You also get discounts on the classes that they offer, excursions, training, things like that. Also on rentals, there's a discount as well. And then on top of the standard 10% dividend reward that you get, REI members will receive coupons throughout the year.
Well, I'm gonna see your 25-cent Wheaties rebate and raise you 2 tender victuals $1 offs, okay?
Typically you get about 4 sales where they have 20% off discount coupons that they send you. So you can get one item 20% off, and that's part of why it's great for my wife and I both to be members, is so we get 2 20% off coupons 4 times a year. And occasionally they even go higher, 25-30% for their anniversary sale. So you can get some really great discounts when you just apply a 130% coupon and the 10% dividend. You're talking 40% off already on one item. So we usually work it where, you know, if we're going to be buying some items, we kind of just wait for the next 20% coupon to come out. And usually that works out great because we've got 8 different items that we could buy in a year at 20% off or more. So typically we're not buying more than that in large purchases anyway. And so it works out great to just wait for that next coupon and use it when it comes out. So I mentioned the used gear sales. Most REIs in the country, I'm pretty sure all of them do the used gear garage sales. They're a little bit hard to find at times, and sometimes you kind of have to follow like the local Facebook page or keep an eye on the REI website. On a Saturday morning, you got to get there early, and you know they open it up and they've got everybody's returned gear that you can go and find some really great discounts and bargains there for gear that's typically lightly used. They're usually not going to sell something that's actually damaged or anything like that. You can really find some good deals at those sales. You just got to find when they're happening. The REIOutlet.com is another place that you can find some amazing deals, but you have to kind of be able to be flexible or just find things when they're there. There's not a ton of availability on REIOutlet.com. So you kind of have to take potluck of what's available there. You're not going to be able to need a specific item, go find it on REI Outlet and buy it there. But if you're kind of looking at it regularly, they also give out 20-25% off discount coupons to the outlet page, and you can find some really great bargains there. So another great tip to shopping at REI is to get the REI MasterCard. So if you're going to be buying outdoor purchases regularly, this is another item that can make shopping at REI more worth it. The REI MasterCard gives you 5% back on all purchases made at REI. So add that into a 30% off coupon, the 10% you're already getting off the dividend, and 5% off. You can get 45% off one item just by having those things right there. There's no annual fee on the credit card. And right now they're doing a deal where you can get a $100 REI gift card just by signing up and using the card. So me, again, seems like a no-brainer. This is not financial advice. Sorry, Dave Ramsey, but I do pay it off every month. So there's that. So this has been mentioned on some other videos, so I won't belabor the point too much on this, but I think that REI still has really great gear. The REI brand gear is great. They've also been branching out into carrying some more of the more kind of cottage type gear, like Hyperlight, things like that. And so you can still find good gear there. It's not the only place to shop by any means. You definitely can find some lighter weight or, you know, more customizable solutions from other companies. So if you're getting into the more advanced range, you might want to shop around looking at websites like Gossamer, Z-Packs, things like that. But you're not going to get the return policy with those. So you got to be really sure what you're getting into with those companies. The great thing about REI is what's available there is you can try it out. So if you're not super sure and you're just kind of getting familiar with things you want to experiment with, it's a great place to try things out. All right, so let's get into some of the cons or the negatives. In my opinion, the level of expertise that exists at the store has definitely decreased in the last couple years. I feel like it used to be that you could go in there and typically you could find an expert in whatever category of activity that you are looking at or looking into. But maybe this is COVID impacting with, staffing shortages and things like that. Could just be my local REI here. They're kind of trained on what they sell and may kind of know what products are available, but they don't really have as much real world experience as I feel like they used to. It used to be you could go in there and you feel like you were talking to Darwin or something. You would know that like this person is legit. They've done this activity X number of times more than I have, and so therefore I'm going to trust their opinion. And I don't really feel like that's the case anymore. I've heard other people say similar things, so take that with a grain of salt. Don't necessarily go in there looking for expert opinions. Inform yourself in other ways. There's so much information out on YouTube. Hit subscribe here. I'll help you out. But don't just wholesale take their opinion. All right, and the story that I alluded to earlier about REI is last year I listened to a book called A Life on the Edge, and it's an autobiography by Jim Whittaker. And Jim was a fascinating individual. He was the first North American to summit Mount Everest. He was the first employee and ultimately the CEO of REI. He had a number of firsts throughout his life that he accomplished. Some fascinating things, like he led the one and only peace climb, where he was able to coordinate and get members from US, China, and Russia all on the summit of Mount Everest at the same time, which was obviously quite the undertaking to coordinate. And the book tells about how Jim started out as the first employee at REI, where it was basically a very small climbing gear company that started in Seattle, and grew it from that to obviously the giant corporation that it is today, smashing records along the way, as he was at the helm for several decades of REI's history. And to me, that just helped me to really appreciate the company, knowing the history behind it and where they came from and kind of what they're all about. Jim ends up having to reinvent himself throughout his life, and he shows that he's a true real-life hero that we can use to inspire ourselves to seek challenges in our life, not only in outdoor pursuits and adventures, but also in our community and the world around us. So speaking of what the company is all about, another cool thing about REI is that they're very active in giving back to the outdoor community. You can read more about it on their website, but they have a thing called the Cooperative Action Fund, and this is meant for them to take a portion of their profits and put them into various different causes. And the three main areas that they support are connecting people outside, connecting space outside, and centering health outside. It's pretty cool. I like all those things. Also, this is Dad Camps. So if you're thinking about going camping with your kids, REI is a great place to get your kids excited about it. My kids love going into REI, seeing all the gear set up. They love going around and touching things and trying out the different chairs and everything like that. And REI employees are usually really nice to them. And so it's a great place to get your kids excited about your next camping trip. And if you need some tips on camping with kids, check out this video I made that can hopefully make your trip go a little bit easier.